Hey, brothers and sisters. I wanted to share this article with you because I think it really says a lot about the current condition of our society. The article is entitled Home Alone: Why America is Dealing with the Severe Epidemic of Loneliness Right Now. It says, we live in a society where a significant chunk of the population feels painfully alone much of the time. It is an epidemic that has enormous mental, emotional, and spiritual implications, and it is one of the clearest signs that we are a society that is coming apart at the seams. One of the primary reasons why there's so much loneliness in our society is because the institution of the family is in decline. Today, the proportion of the population that is single and childless is at an all-time high, and the proportion of the population that is married with children is at an all-time low. How can anyone possibly claim that we are headed for a bright future when we are facing such alarming societal trends? So it says, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 40% of Americans report feeling lonely at least some of the time. The survey conducted between August 20th and September 16th of this year reported that 1 in 8 people, that's 12.6%, was feeling lonely either always or usual, including nearly a quarter, 23%, of the younger population aged 18 to 29. Since the household survey at the start of the year, slightly more people are now feeling lonely a lot of the time. 40% of people reported feeling lonely at least sometimes. So these are very troubling numbers. But of course, others that have studied our epidemic of loneliness have come up with similar numbers. In fact, a report put out by the U.S. Surgeon General concluded that close to half of the U.S. population experiences feelings of loneliness. One survey actually discovered that the proportion of men that do not have any close friends has increased 5-fold since 1990. So the question is, who are the loneliest people in America? American men were said to be in friendship recession, with a survey finding the number of men without any close friends increased 5-fold since 1990. Have you ever wondered why so many older Americans seem so sad much of the time? People are yearning for human connection, and Google search trends prove this. Somewhere along the way, something has gone horribly wrong, and I believe that it starts with the institution of the family. In 1940, just 7.7% of all U.S. households were one-person households, but by 2020, that figure had jumped to 27.6%. The share of people living alone increased every decade from 1940 to 2020. We were not meant to live alone, but now more Americans than ever are doing just that. Look at this chart here on the screen. Sadly, this decade, that trend has continued. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, right now, 29% of all U.S. households are one-person households. In 2024, there were 38.5 million one-person households, which was 29% of all U.S. households. In 1974, one-person households represented only 19% of all households. Now, the chart that I'm showing you here makes it abundantly clear that we are a dying society. Our birth rate has been under replacement level for a long time because so many Americans don't want to get married and don't want to have children. Sadly, our entire culture has become anti-marriage, anti-family, and anti-children to a very large degree. Humans, as he concludes, are meant to love and to be loved, and that is one of the reasons why the traditional family unit is an absolutely vital societal institution. So, I will include the link for you to read the full article in the description, but just a few comments. This is, again, a sign of the last days when family essentially makes up a solid society. It is the fabric of our society. a husband, a wife, and children. But we can see from these surveys that it is breaking down, thereby causing loneliness. And even people that, essentially have a wife or children, even they can be lonely at times. And I think we're creating a society in which everybody feels so isolated, so independent. We're doing less things together as groups, as community. And I think that's why people are starving for community. They're starving for relationships. That is not always surface level. Unfortunately, with society being driven by social media, we become more independent. We become more isolated. We don't step out of our comfort zone and meet people and talk to people because it's easier just to hide behind, a cell phone or a laptop or an iPad and not to interact, because so many of us are afraid of getting hurt or being rejected or getting along. And we are finding that society is more divided than it's ever been. However, on the flip side, social media is also helping people that are lonely, that can't get to certain groups, can't find good churches, can't find healthy communities. Social media is also helping to produce a community online that helps support one another. And I found that out through my YouTube ministry, my Telegram ministry, my Instagram ministry, my Rumble ministry, and my X account ministry, just trying to reach those people that maybe they can't find good Christian community or a discerning community or a community that cares about prophecy. So seeing what these numbers are regarding loneliness, I think we need to take it a step further and say, hey, let's get together and let's start praying about this, because the world is getting darker, people are getting more lonely, and we need to find ways to reach out to people. God bless.